What's up guys? I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded anything of substance, but I am happy to be back with a few of my first own mods and a load order that turns the Commonwealth into a Star Wars battlefield. It's been a crazy 6 months of a lot of personal stuff, including moving and COVID, but we aren't here for me. We are here for some good Fallout mods, so let's get into it. The mods that I made aren't anything too crazy and were a great learning experience with the Creation Kit and Xedit, both of which I'm completely new to learning. Without the mods that I use as masters, I would never have been able to make these, so huge shout out to you guys, and I've linked your Nexus profiles in the description. Let's start the video with my 3 mods and then we'll go over the full overhaul. First we have Minuteman, Rebel, or Clone Commandos. In retrospect, I probably should have named it Republic or Clone Commandos, but like they say, hindsight is 2020. Regardless, this will equip the Minuteman faction with Clone Commando style armor. I made this specifically to go along with Synth Stormtroopers and Imperial Institute, so that the Minutemen could have a Republic style armor to contrast the Imperial Institute. I want it to be clear that I did not make the armor, and all credit goes to Nimrout512 for his Synth combat armor, and CasshernX for the Railroad Commandos, which organized the armor in a way that made it much easier for me to distribute in Xedit. Luckily, there is a mod on Nexus already to swap the Minuteman flag to the Republic flag, which is linked in my load order in the description. In my playthrough with the Imperial Institute, my headcanon is that the Republic forces have aligned with the Minutemen to push back the Imperial forces and build up the strength of the Commonwealth settlements. Another great thing about both of these mods together is that you can still side with either faction without breaking the game, and you can still finish all of the quests. I've left the Brotherhood untouched, and they would be the least likely faction to accept alliances with alien forces out of any of the other factions in the Fallout 4 universe, so it makes sense. I do have plans for the Railroad, but I'm not 100% sure what armor I would like to put on them yet. You certainly are not limited to my playthrough's headcanon and can use any of these mods to suit your needs. My next mod is Raider Stormtroopers. This mod equips the Raider faction with the same armor used in the Imperial Institute mod. I intentionally left the Raider version of the troopers without helmets so that they're easier to kill than their synth counterparts, especially for people who are using things like MAME or mods with other headshot mechanics. If you are siding with the Institute, however, you probably don't want to use this mod because you're going to end up in battle with other Stormtroopers. I've also renamed each Raider to suit the theme of the mod. Honestly, I just added the word Trooper to the end of all their names. There is an old mod that overhauls all Raider factions into Stormtroopers, but it relies on a different version of the Trooper armor and its masters are outdated. And it also doesn't mesh well with the Imperial Stormtroopers mod. This mod messes with the faction alignments, and I didn't want any of the quests to be ruined. The third mod that I made is something almost anyone can do in the Creation Kit or Xedit, but I figured I would at least give it an upload to Nexus so that you guys could use it. I've essentially just renamed the stim pack and most buff chems to the old Republic themed names, without any texture or model replacements. This is honestly not necessary, but it's a personal touch that I liked for the Star Wars immersion. So now that we have my mods out of the way, let's go over my total Star Wars overhaul mod list, why it never crashes, and which mods you might or might not want to use for your Star Wars playthrough. I posted my load order in the description below with the link to each, and if you copy this exact load order and set up archive and validation, you will have no issues with crashing, at least very minimal. Obviously, Imperial Institute is a huge part of this mod list and my approach to overhauling the other factions. This will not only overhaul synths into Stormtroopers, but will also replace clothing on tons of Institute NPCs, and when paired with Evil Institute HD, really turns the faction into something that resembles the Empire. Another amazing mod to complement all of this is Star Wars Weapon Replacer. Download all of the guns listed under the required tab of the mod page and then install the Weapon Replacer. And then the NPCs of your games will be running around with Star Wars weapons from the get-go. This makes sense with the roleplay. If the Empire was funding Raiders, they would have blasters. So now let's take a look at the Gunner faction. As I was scrolling through Nexus looking for a suitable gunner overhaul for this playthrough, I found CasshernX's Not Mandalorian Gunners, which takes the Mandalorian style tactical armor from Ghost's Galactac Redux mod and equips the gunners with it. Then, it dawned on me that there's a mod called Initially Friendly Gunners, and I thought, perfect. This actually includes bounty quests that you can use for gunners and make them incredibly suitable for the playthrough as a Mandalorian group. Huge thanks to Bang Bang You Are Dead for this mod, which I've already used in a few playthroughs and really enjoyed turning the gunners into an interesting faction. The mod comes with 3 mercenaries that can become your companion, and you will see mercenaries like these traveling with traders to protect them in the game. If you've never used this mod before, the gunners will not attack neutral NPCs or the player, and it fixes ownership for items, doors, and terminals in gunner areas. So if you try to open a red door, unlock something and steal something, or if you kill a gunner, they will get a bounty on you. You have to find a contractor to pay off the bounty, and the contractors also give you quests, which are Radiant Bounty quests. There's a contractor found in the 3rd Rail, in the Dugout Inn, and in the bar in Bunker Hill. These are where you both pay off your bounty and pick up bounty quests. As you can see on the load order in the description, there are a lot of individual texture replacement mods. Most of these are not super high resolution, but I still love them. A significant portion of these replacements were made by Chrono Daddy, and I definitely want to thank him for that. Everything from computer terminals to concrete have been replaced as something from Star Wars. Is it lore friendly? Hell no. Does it even make sense? Not really. Do I love it? Yes. I've played this game so many times that mashing Star Wars and Fallout together, it's just fine with me. So the final mod we're going to cover in the video is Star Wars Force Powers, but there are some more Star Wars mods on the list that I'm using for this playthrough, so make sure you check them all out. And in my opinion, it just really isn't Star Wars without Force Powers. Built within the grenade slot system, this mod features 5 Force Powers and goes well with the lightsaber mod on the load order listed below. The 5 powers are Force Push, which is an invisible projectile which explodes on contact and pushes hostiles away. The second is Force Disarm, which will cause hostiles to drop their weapons. According to the mod page, the AI will often cause the enemy to pick them right back up though. Third is Force Lightning Bolt, a lightning bolt that does energy damage. Fourth is Force Lightning, a single beam that does a lot of damage. And the final power is Extreme Force, a huge force wave that causes an explosion on impact and blows items and enemies away. This thing's a little crazy. I would go light on it because it just literally, you'll never find any of the drops. And like I said, there are some mods in my load order that didn't get covered and some others that aren't really necessary for a Star Wars playthrough. The ones listed under utility and bug fixes are absolutely necessary. These will ensure that your game doesn't crash. My load and plugin orders aren't that organized after that point, but they are organized in a way that makes sure all these mods work properly with each other and things get overwritten in the order that they need to. The only exception to all of this is the 12 gigabyte texture pack. That's one mod that you don't need. I think it's called Perform Out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have fun with this load order, or at least some of the mods from it. And I'll see you guys next time.
Ad Victoriam.